Character reruns are something every player gets excited for. However, are they still worth pulling for? In today's video, I'll be sharing my thoughts on reruns based on the trend of the game's meta over the past 2 years. I'll be going through the value of each type of character, from general characters to the more niche ones. Then we will discuss Acheron and Aventurine's reruns, with Sunday and Fugue just around the corner. Hi, my name is Spade, and welcome to my little escapade. So Honkai Star Rail has been out for 2 years now, and it seems that the game's meta follows a very trendy path. At the start, we were introduced to different mechanics and playstyles, being hypercarry, follow-up, DOT, etc. So everything still seemed general. At the end of 1.6, it seemed that follow-ups were at the top with Topaz and R3 Doctor ratio. Then fast forward to now, follow-ups still remain at the top, along with Super Break, while other playstyles such as hypercarries and DOTs are seemingly struggling or forgotten. From what I can tell, the game loves to push these very niche playstyles and specialized characters that need each other to make it work. Now this is a very important detail to keep in mind, which both follow-ups and Super Break have in common. On top of that, the game releases elite enemies that cater towards these characters, keeping them trending at the top till now. Hypercarries by nature have a very generalized kit, with some gimmicks within themselves. While DOTs are just, I don't know man, locked away somewhere man, where are they? So how does this play into reruns? Follow-ups and Super Break have been consistently at the top, which makes any of the characters that fall under them have either the same value as their initial release, or their values have increased over time. A prime example of this is Topaz. Her initial release didn't have that much people interested in her, but as time went on and the new follow-up characters kept on getting released, her value just kept on rising and rising, aging like fine wine. So this made people wanting her even more, which is why she kept on having reruns. When it comes to hypercarries, it doesn't seem like the values hold out from their initial release. The victim that felt this the most was Jingliu. I remember Vars mentioned this in one of their videos that Jingliu is a strong and self-sufficient character. This makes her a very generic DPS with no dedicated support because they don't have any apparent flaws. It's, funny how seemingly having no flaws makes this character the most flawed character in the game. There's nothing else that they can sell on with this character, which is one of the many reasons as to why she does not hold as much value by the time of her rerun. Of course, unless you really like the character. Before we continue, I would really appreciate it if you like this video, as it helps a lot. And subscribe to my channel to see more Honkai Star Rail content such as this one. Also, comment down below what one of your favorite games is outside of gacha games. Mine is Persona 5 Royal, or Royale. I started it a few months ago, and I immediately fell in love with the series. Seems kinda pretty obvious from a YouTube banner. Alright, back to the video. So now that we have discussed the trending playstyles, let's break it down even further by going through them as DPSs, supports, and sustainers. DPS characters are the main and best sellers on the menu in every gacha game. Everyone wants to see those big PP numbers. It's different for Star Rail as they're very meta-oriented, so DPS characters that don't fall under what's trending tend to dip in value over time, making them less appealing, which makes you want to pull on the latest and strongest DPS. That's kinda how they keep you spending. So right now, Topaz, Fei Xiao, and Firefly have the most value currently and could still keep it up for the next few patches. Boothill and Rappa are debatable. Imbiber de Lune and Jingliu are just not recommended anymore. I'ma keep it real. Acheron is in a funny spot, but we'll get to her later. Supports have... Jesus Christ. Supports have been able to keep their value compared to DPSs, especially universal supports such as Robin and Ron Mei. They specialize in the more niche playstyles, but their kits are general enough to fit into any. This seems to be the opposite case of DPS characters. Sparkle is a bit iffy since she's a hyper carry support, but I think you can still consider her. Utility characters, I would say, still fall under supports, so characters like Black Swan, despite being DOT, are able to benefit your account. Jiao Cho is mainly an Acheron support, so if you have her, I highly recommend him. Silver Wolf's value just went down the drain when it seemed like every new DPS could implant their own weakness or ignore weakness typings entirely. I still think she's a good character, but she's rarely needed nowadays, so I suggest skipping her. Sustainers, just like supports, are able to retain their value over time, mainly because surviving a battle will always be valuable. I honestly would recommend any of them if your teams are missing one, especially those that fit into niches like Aventurine and Linksha. Nothing much else to say here. So when it comes to Acheron and Aventurine's rerun, should he still pull on them or wait for Sunday and Fugue? Honestly, it depends on your account. If you still don't have a main DPS, then Acheron is a good pickup for the meantime. Right now, she's still holding her own, especially if you have Jiao Cho, but as I mentioned earlier, just like with every other hyper carry, she'll eventually phase out soon once the new 3.x DPS start rolling out. Aventurine is the best sustainer right now, even outside of follow-ups, but especially if you do use follow-ups. I highly recommend him. He will definitely elevate the team while keeping them alive. I managed to get him at 55 pity. Let's just check here. There you go. I managed to get him at 55 pity with a good amount of jade to spare. So I'll be saving now for Sunday. Now, should you skip both of them for Sunday and Fugue? Again, it honestly really depends on you. This seems to be a repeat of 1.6 when Ranmei was released before Super Break was a thing, preparing for the next meta that's about to happen in the next versions. If you're interested in that and have no need for a DPS or a sustainer, then yeah, I highly recommend that you save and pull for Sunday. I still don't know what he specifically does, but I know he'll be broken. No leaks please, I'm really trying my hardest to avoid them. With Fugue, I honestly don't know what she'll bring, so I can't really say right now. The only thing that seems likely is either a DOT support, which I'm hoping for, or this whole new exo toughness meter thing that is in the current MOC 12 right now. But those are just speculations. Either way, I'm sure she's a hype character ever since her head turning cutscene. So she'll probably be broken as well. Just, not her neck this time, right? Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I was able to provide y'all with some insight that could help in deciding which reruns you want to pull for when they come around. As always, if you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate it if you liked it and subscribe to my channel to see more Honkai Star content such as this one. If you want to check out a lore accurate team, I have a video here about the Astral Express, and if you want to know whether you should pull for meta or fun characters, I got a video just for you as well. Alright, bye!